Shem Hashem, Na'aseh v'na'asliach, Baruch haba. B'ezrat Hashem, we're continuing with halachot of Matbeah Bracha, and just going to get onto the screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so over the previous weeks, we've been learning the Matbeah Bracha, and so let's do a little quick overview, right? So a person comes along and he wants to B'ezrat Hashem eat something, or b'nehene, b'kat nehenim, or b'kat shevach. So every tefillah, every mitzvah that we do is a tikkun, and in the tikkun we have to fix the birurim and take up the rafach and make a tikkun by being mashlim the mochin, like we said in the Nar Shalom. It says that the whole chokhmah of this, the tikkun is to be maleman and to bring down the mochin. Those are two things that everything revolves around. So in this particular kavanah, there is a Matbeah Bracha. Chazal in the time of the Gedolah, they came along and they made a Matbeah Bracha, which is the nusach of the bracha. They understood what was going on in all the olamot, and they made the bracha which is fitting. And Masechet Brachot talks about it. Before you take something to eat, you say La Hashem Asub Loa. The whole world belongs to Hashem, right? And then when you make the bracha, Adam, then it becomes yours. Or the Maharal says when something's in a tree, it's advertising. Say, look at me, Baruch Hu created me. But when we make a bracha, we advertise it with the audio as well. So we advertise it to the world with the bracha that Hashem created the world. Yeah. Specifically, what's the nusach? Baruch. Baruch means you're the makora bracha. All the bracha comes from you. The Gro's got a slightly different explanation that we have to actually bless Hashem. Because Hashem, He wanted the world to be done in such a way that we actually, the same idea, just in a slightly different angle. But the Mashba, most of the Mashba, most of the Rishonim, we learn that the word Baruch means the Mekora Bracha. So we learn the Mekora Bracha is the Keter Elyon. So the first thing he says in the Bracha is Keter Elyon, which if you're on Olam Atzilut, then it'll be the Malchut HaKudim. Whichever Olam you're in, if you're in English Shachrit, let's say Baruch Shamar, so you say the Bracha Baruch Shamar, Baruch Hashem, right? So then you're Olam HaYetzirah. So then you can only get to the Malchut of Briah to bring that would be the Keter. So we explain that there's a Makor Bracha. Ata, you connect to Hashem. Rabbi Yehuda Levi says that Ata is the second person, but Hashem is in the third person. So you said this is first you have to have a personal relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then you have to go back to the third person that He is Hashem. Baruch Ata Hashem, right? It's the other way around. Baruch is the other way around. Baruch is the third person. I didn't say it right. Baruch is the third person. Hashem is the third. He, you say that He is not me and you. It's He, like removed from us, further removed. Then Atah, you take it to the second person. And then Yud Kevavke, Rabbi Yehuda Levi says, is a personal connection to your God. Like the Yud and the Heke, the tag of the Yud, it all goes through all the Olamot, from the highest place of creation all the way down to us. So Hashem's name, Yud Kevavke, means Hayah transcends all the parts of creation till it comes to us. And then you say Elohim, that means Lord, there's a God, the Koach Elakut, which created the world. Yeah. And then he said that. Now it says the Gemara says in Brachot, Kol bracha she'en ba malchut shamayim en bracha. Right? You have to mention malchut shamayim, melech haolam. And Tosfos says it's not a bracha bichlal. But there are other Rishonim, and the Ben Ish Chai learns this halacha. The Eila Safek, you're not sure, so you can leave out melech haolam, and it can still be a bracha. Like Amin Hag in Kriyat Shema Lamita, according to Ben Ish Chai, is not to say the bracha with melech haolam, to say Baruch and mehareh belibo ata Hashem loken melech haolam amapil chev shemna. Right? So how can it be? The Gemara says kol bracha shelom malchut shemayim bracha. So he says no, but safek it doesn't apply.
You said you have to be kaven l'shem malchut.
You have to be kaven. You have to be covered. You can't dismiss it.
It's because you're not supposed to speak afterwards, and just in case you speak or you do other things or whatever. That's why.
Whatever the reason is, you see in Masechet Brachot, in Perek HaRo'eh, lots of brachot that says Baruch shekocho gvoto ma'ale olam. That doesn't say Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. Some Rishonim hold you have to say it. It means you have to say it. Just didn't want to say it each time and spell it out, right? Rav Ovadia Paskins like that. Minhag Baghdad is Ramim Yisei b'Shem Malchut. For sure, it's yeah. But some brachot, but left in a way that we don't know what to do. Like, for example, there's a bracha from the Geonim in the Pidyon Ben, and it's in the Sidurim from the Geonim, and it's not part of the original Nusach, but it was added on somehow. So you say it without Yeah, you say it without Shem Malchut. The case is like that. We say a bracha without Shem Malchut. Okay. So now I come to the kavanot. So the kavanot are built around all of this. So outside we'll say, what do we really want to get to? We want to get to the mochin that we bring down. And the main mochin that we bring down is always the gadlut. And the gadlut, right, comes at the end after Melech HaOlam. In order to get to the gadlut, we have to send up before that the shefa chitzon. We get shefa chitzon down, gives us koach, so we can send up the birurim. So b'kitzur, what do we really want to do? We want to say, okay, I'm traveling through another country and I need to find a minyan and find kosher food and there's birurim that have to be ma'aleh. Right? So I go into a shop and I get some kosher food and say, I'm going to make a bracha over here in the middle of nowhere. I always said the story once, while we were having our first child, we were in Eretz Israel, and Rabbi Avraham Shalom David, Alav Shalom, he was the Mashgiach of Avat Shalom. He said, you should take your wife before she gives birth in the Ben Azmanim in water. Water was very, very therapeutic for pregnancy, which was the end. So we're going through this Parkei Yarden, it's a Jordan River next to Tiberia, somewhere around there. And I'm going like this, like Mr. Bounty Man, and it was a really hot day, and I had my talit katan on the outside. And as I'm going along, I see another guy in his what they call these things, canoe things, whatever they call them. And his wife is also sitting there with a big belly, and he's also got his talit out, and he's also going along with his canoe with his oars. And looks at me, and I look at him, the same exact idea. And he says to me, he says, Kach, garin, v'tevarech, v'ta'aleh, kol hanitzot sheyesh bo. He said, did you think you came for your wife? I thought I came for, I went over here to make a bracha because there's something tzotzot over here that we have to fix. Why do you think Hashem brought us over here, right?
You were looking for Beracha in the end.
And Lamar says, she's right. Hashem brought us over there to make a tikkun, right? To be ma'aleh tzotzot. I was once in Livorno, and my father-in-law had met a friend after 40 years from Libya, and he's living in Livorno. And my wife's grandmother saved this sister that she was there from the Arabs took her, and they were going to force marry her. And my wife's grandma went into the Arab section, went into the mosque to the Qadda, and she said, this girl was all drugged, and said, in your religion, she has to agree. Let's ask her if she agrees. And she said she doesn't agree, and she took her back. And this is the girl, we met this person after 40 years. And we're talking, we did Havdalah in the house. And then he says to me, many years ago, Rav Yitzhak Nissim came to Livorno, and I was the zchut of driving him around. He said, it's really strange. He said he wanted to go to the ancient Beit Kvarot. Livorno is where the Chidah was over there, and many Sfarim were printed over there. So he wanted to go to the burial ground. He said, but before we got there, he said, stop the car. He said, and then he got out the car, and he stood over there, and he took out mezonot and ha'etz and hadama, and he's making brachot in the middle of the street. Like he said, well, can you explain to me any idea what he was doing? Why would he do that? So I said, because probably in that Beit Kvarot there's a lot of neshamot which are stuck, and no one's made a bracha anywhere next to there for the 300 years. Who knows how many years they haven't made a bracha in this place? So he wanted to make a bracha to be ma'aleh the nitzot, to explain the concept of nitzotzot, and why he came there and make sense of bracha to bless Hashem. So that's really what we want to do when we make a bracha. And that's the mochin that come at the end, which we haven't learned, which hopefully we're going to learn today. Right? And that's really fast, that's the ikar. I forgot we have those choverets, which is great. We got these choverets from last time. So at the end, you get to the last page. Now, it's very easy when the bracha that we're doing is a kind of bracha which is shevach, like Baruch She'amar or Yishtabach. Why? Because the ma'aseh is the dibur. So all of this that you see here, these three lines, which is the tzaddik, the lamed, and the mem, it's on page. You take that one, and I'll take this one for a moment. 191. There you go. 191. I'm going to try and see if I can. So if we're looking at the Siddur, our Siddur on page 191 of Baruch She'amar, we'll see that all the orot that have to come down with the Gadlut, you see there's three sections, the Tzaddik, Lamed, and the Mem. The Tzaddik, Lamed, and the Mem. We're not going to learn Be'iyun exactly what the Tzaddik, Lamed, and the Mem, but Kitzur, the Mem is the Partzuf, which is the highest one, like the Chabad. And around it, there's another Partzuf, which is called Lamed, and another which is called Mem. What we need to know is that the mem the tzaddik, I mean, at the bottom, is done through the ma'aseh. So if we're eating an apple right now, right, the tzaddik, the mochin that come down from the tzaddik will only come down when you actually eat the apple. The bracha will bring down the mem and the lamed, and then the tzaddik will be when you eat the apple, right? It's a ma'aseh pe'ula. But here, the ma'aseh pe'ula is actually the dibur of praising Hashem. So you do all together in one go. That's the way we're learning it first. And when you don't do it together all in one go, like when you eat an apple, so then you have to do it into 4 parts. Everything has to be done into 4 different parts: chokhmot, binot, and then tiferet u'malchut. So you have to do it in 4 different sections. So that's why you've got 4 words: boreh, peri, ha'etz. Oh, but there's only 3 words, right? Sometimes there's 4 words. So what happens is you do 2 of them, the first 2 together. You do the binot, chokhmot, binot together, and then the malchut. Huh?
You only need 3 words.
Yes, and then but there's 4 things to bring down. So I'm explaining to you. So sometimes you have 4 words. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, right? For example. But it doesn't matter. The point is, in those words, you'll be bringing down more than 1 item. You need 4 different sections to do it. It looks like the same kavanah that you're doing 4 times, but it's not actually it's in the 4 kavanot. You have to split it up. That tzaddik, you have to split it up into 4 ways. All of them, all of them, you have to fit them all up into 4 ways. You understand? So it takes 4 different parts of the bracha to get the whole thing done. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the chiddush that we're learning today. Okay. Now I'm saying to you today what we have, even though we haven't learnt it inside completely, what we're saying today is that's the ikar to get the totza'ah that we want to get to. That's the end story that we were trying to get, the end game, so to speak. To bring down this 1 page of mochin at the end, everything else is hard work to get there. Versteht? As they say in Arabic.
Okay.
So I'm just going over here to the page on the screen here for those who are seeing the shiur online.
When you're doing, like, let's say, chokhmah of men, are you also doing a chokhmah of lamesh and tzaddik at the same time? That's what.
So you have to see inside. I haven't got over here Matbeah Bracha. There's some over there if you want to bring those books. But more or less, what you're saying is right. You have to do it in sections. There's a chokhmah, and there's a tzad. That depends what the bracha is. Let's say, for example, the bracha is you have to bring on the chokhmot and the binah of the lamed and the mem, but not the tzadi. And then you do the binot, and you done the binot chokhmah, and then you have to bring the tiferet peri, and then ha'etz, and then you finish it, right? And then after, when you come to eat it, then you do the whole 4 sections again for the tzadi.
By the eating.
By the eating, because there's eating involved.
Okay.
So that's how it works. Yeah. So the kids, so that's how it works. Okay. So that's the siyah kavanah, the great accomplishment of the kavanah that we want to get to is what you're seeing over here on page 191, right? And what is that? That is the gadlut that comes down, right? If you like it, it's the real pnimi, right? Because the chitzon, shefa chitzon, we said was yenika, not gadlut. And that shefa chitzon is only a way of giving us koach to mevar birurim. So recap it again. So just the first thing is to see this page 191 and to understand the whole Matbeah Bracha has to get to this. That's when everything comes on b'shefa, right? So when you've done that, you've fixed all, and it goes into Zah and to Nuk. This is the bottom of the page. Explains that goes into Zah and into Nuk. So all the bits that we did before, we had to build it up in the chitzon of the chitzon and pni of the chitzon, and from the keter elyon to arich, and then to tatik, and then to arich, and to abba ve'ima, and then to split it up into shefa pnimi chitzon of all of the chitzon, till you get to melech haolam, and you have to go to abba ve'ima, and then the tipa comes down and zivug, and then milat atah, then there's a zivug of the pnimi, and then each thing breaks down into 3 different other membet otiot. All that you do to get to Melech HaOlam, all that Shefa Chitzon, to give us koch. We're bringing all that koch down from all the Olam until we get it. That gives us koch to be Ma'aleh, the man of the Gadlut, the Melech HaOlam. And then Asher, right? Asher Tenahotcha, it says there's a word that comes out, you put it al rosh, everything gets taken up. So you just show that it's up. And then you put it there, you bring it down and put it into its place. Bore, if there's Asher Kiddishanu, then you've got that. If you haven't got Asher Kiddishanu, then it's automatically done. And then you say Bore Priyat, and you bring it all down. Or if it's Bekat Shebek like this, when you before you said the word Melech Gadosh Pachot, so you bring it all down in one go. Right, so just for Avram, we're just explaining how when it comes down in one go, the tzaddik and the lamed and the mem, which is above, you've got 10 sefirot for each one, if you can see. So tzaddik and mem, they don't go inside the kelim; they're makifim around the kelim. There's like 3 parts of him. There's Chabad, and then there's Chagat, and then there's Nai. The Nai of the Mochin goes inside the kelim. So the other two stay; they're above. They call the Orot Makifim. So the tzaddik really that goes into the kelim only goes in when you do the maaseh mitzvah. So here the maaseh mitzvah is the dibur, so it's all together. But when you eat food, then you have to say the word boy priya that you do the lamed and the tzaddik. So lamed and the mem. And the tzaddik you only do it when you finish your bracha and you eat it. Then you have to mechaven on while you're eating it or drinking a wine in kiddush or while you're doing abakasot. The tzaddik, remember the tzaddik of the tzelem, right? This question, which comes the whole order of was the famous question of the order of it, how to work out what's before, above, below. Rabbi Yehuda he was talking to the Ruach, and he said to the Ruach, I'm working on this, trying to understand this for so many years. When am I going to get the understanding, the biur, to know for sure?
How to support?
Yeah. So he said to him, tonight, Shabbat, you after Kiddush, after you all finish, you've been bench, Rabbi Hamazon, whatever, then you're going to learn, it's Chaim, and you see, when you learn, you work out the answer. And he said, right, it's in Bet Lechem Yehuda, and at night, they get the Megala to me. Right, the Khatam Sofer says every Chiddush you get is from Eliyahu Navi. It's Gilu Eliyahu Navi. It's just not like the Gilu Navi of Panim, Asher Shemir Bachalom, Asher Panim, Pihu, right? If it's Panim and Panim, they're all different Bechinot. But every Chiddush Torah comes from Eliyahu Navi. So he was Midgale, and Megale that he was okay that night to get the pshat. And this is what we're talking about. This to do with this inyan. Tzaddik Lamed Mem. We go back and read it again, you'll see it's all about the Tzaddik Lamed Mem. That's what he was talking about. Okay, so again, working backwards today, we're taking the end of the kavanah, which is this seed, the high point of the whole kavanah, right? And what is that? You see, Eses Sfirot times 2. Right? Because in this case it's Yashut, so it's Yashas and Tvuna. Because that's the last place before it goes to Za. And then Za gives it to Nuk. So that's the main kavanah. Now if we work backwards, you'll see now the Shefa Chitzon, both the Chitzon and Pnim Chitzon on the page before that on 191. Why is that? Because that's when it's coming back. We worked really hard in Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu to bring all that down into this world, to give us koach, to be ma'aleh the man for the gadlut. But once we did that, then we sent it back up because it says v'lo yira'u panai rekam. You can't go to Ruma Ma'alot with nothing. You have to give something smaller to get something bigger. Bakshish. Yeah. So you have to take the Shefa Chitzon, which we had. Remember, Shefa Chitzon is already in the world. You don't have to bring it into the world. It's already there. You go to the level above and you go to the one that goes to the one above, and everyone gives something to the one below, and then you get koach. That gives us the koach to be ma'aleh nitzotzot. So we do about mitot beidin, and we make all our kavanot, but also in kavanot to lift all the birim that we can, right? And then when they go up to all the way up to Ruma Ma'alot, and then there's things that happen over there, Absag Da'ak, and then these ones come down. And when they come down, which is page 191, we also bring down back what we had before. The Shefa Chitzon also comes back. Right? So that's why the page before, you see everything that we did for those weeks, in the first weeks of the Shefa Chitzon, it's all in one page. Can you see it? 190. Well, then it's in the Olam, it stays there forever. Right? So now we'll go back to get to this point. So these 2 pages is the outcome. Right? So if you want to, if a person can't work out the answer, you do a puzzle book or something, you go to the back and you see the answer, this is the answer, right? So in the worst case scenario, this is where you just look at that and say, that's what I need to bring in the world, right? How do I do it? Okay, let's work backwards and see what we have to bring. So now, first the Shefa Chitzon, then the Shefa Primi, the Gadlut. Yeah. So we go back to the beginning and do Milat Baruch. Who remembers how it works? So we were just saying, Rav Amor, that we were just saying that after this, we came to this because we were doing the Bracha of the Omer. But we're going to, Mitzvah Shem, move from here to Kriyat Shema Lamita after this. This is last week and then Mitzvah Shem from next week. Unless you want to do a refresher of the Kavanah of Ben HaMetzarim. We did it last year. You want to go over it again?
It's done.
Do you want to do do you want to go over it again next week, or should we just go straight into Kriyat Shema Lamita? What do you think? Good. Good. Yeah, it's not a difficult one. Yeah, very good.
We say it every night.
You've got it. Read what it says in the sheets from last week. If you want another one, I can give you another one. Oh, the Shurim online anyway from last year. Go and listen to them. Okay. Rabotai. So we start with the word Baruch. We said Baruch, the first thing to remember, I'm saying now B'kitzur, not the Rashi Tosfot inside nitty-gritty. Ashrechem if you can do everything written inside, but at least just the minimum, right? There's a Keter Elyon, which is always the Olam above where you are. So if you happen to be in Hatzilot and you're making a Bracha Deoraita on a Birkat Amazon or something like that, right? So Baruch Hashem, right? Right, so when you start that, so you're not Tzilut. So who's the Keter Elyon? Malchut Akudim. Explain what that was. Okay, if not, in Baruch Shamar, where we are, Olam Yetzirah. So what's above us? Malchut the Bria. So that the Keter Elyon over here is Malchut, is going to be the Malchut the Bria, as it says on this page. Yeah, it says over here, Keter Elyon equals Shosh Yetzirah, ben Malchut Bria, Tzedek v'Shalom. Rabbi Eliyahu Mish'an. Right, he writes this. Page 170. Yeah, 170. Yeah, 170. Yeah, say Malchut Debriya. Up on the screen anyway now. Okay. Yeah, so that Baruch is the beginning. And then we said, first in the beginning, we're all doing it together. There's no splitting up. All this Shefa Chitzon, and then the Chitzon is going to be the Chitzon and Chitzon and Chitzon. So in the beginning, it's all Shefa Chitzon together. We start with Atik, right? And we give the koch to Atik, right? And then Atik itself makes a zivug and gives it to Arich. But here it splits up into Pnimi, zivug Pnimi, Chitzon. After Atik gets the Shefa from Malchut Akudim, Malchut Bria, then you divide it into number 1 and number 2, which is zivug Pnimi, zivug Chitzon. Right? And the different orders of how you do Eke Havaya. Right? Remember that? And then he gives a Shefa to Arich. And then Arich also divides up into Chitzon and Pnimi and gives a Shefa to Abba V'Ima. So we're jumping now from Arich to Abba V'Ima V'Yasut, right? Which page 172. 173 now we got to already. 173, it's a little bit more complicated because we divide it into 2 sides of Abba and Ima. Abba and Yashas on one side, Ima V'Tfuna on the other side. Right? Abba V'Yashas have the Absag Ma'ben, and Ima and Tvuna have the 2 Ekiyas, right? Which is Ma'chochman Bina, right? Kasa Kamag. And they go down and get included to 1 Havaya for all of the Asmab, and 1 Ekiyah for the Kasa Kamag, right? And this Havaya and Ekiyah, which is Abba and Yashas and Ima Tvuna, have a Zivug, right? And in this Zivug, they molid Shefa, but you have to know whether you're dealing with the Chitzon or you're dealing with the Pnimi. Okay, so let's take it slowly. First of all, this zivug that they make sends the tipa down to the Yesodot. Yep, and that's where we end the Kavanah, when there's a tipa in the Yesod or Abba Yashas, and there's a tipa in the Yesod of Ima Tfuna. And that's the end of the Kavanah. We didn't yet make a proper zivug of Abba Ve'ima together of the Yesodot. The only zivug we had is something called Nishikin, which is to send the tipa down. Minei Ubei, exactly, beautiful. Minei Ubei of Abba and Yashas and Minei Ubei of Ima and Tfuna. And then we go to the next Kavanah, to jump to do all the explanations. And we go to Shefa Chitzon. And we're still in Milat Baruch, right? So that Abba Ve'ima that we were dealing with now, that Abba Ve'ima and Yashlut that we're dealing with now until now, was the Pnimi, right? Now we have to do the Chitzon the Pnimi. The Chitzon, I mean. Pnimi the Chitzon, what did I say? Pnimi the Chitzon, yeah? Everything is Chitzon to Melech Olam, and then before we did Pnimi Chitzon, we got to Abba Ve'ima, we just did with the Pnimi, and it went down to the Yesodot, and we stopped. Now we go to the Chitzon of Abba Ve'ima, and we actually make a zivug and molid the shefa. Okay? But we don't do anything with the shefa. All that shefa is al gabe resha dezah. It's just shefa nolad. And we finish the Milat Baruch. We go to Milat Atah, and we carry on with the shefa primi where we left off, where the tipot were in the yisodot of Abba Ve'yashes and the yisod of Ima V'tfuna. Now we make a zivug Abba Ve'ima of the pnimi the chitzon. Yeah? And then you could see that on, see what page it is? 178. Ata. Yeah, Ata. Asher tena hodecha. What does it mean, Ata? Asher tena hodecha. That means you put it above. That means the chef is above. You didn't yet do anything. So that's a remez, right? Anyway, shefa pnimi de chitzon is a kavaya. We make the zivug and we molid. Then now the shefa now is born, and we moshech it down, right, to the yisod of Ima Tvuna. Right? First from Abba V'Yashas to Ima V'Tfuna. Right, we put the kotara over there. Right, it says Hemshek Kavanah Zivug. You see the zivug, and then it says Mi Yisod the Abba V'Yashas, Mi Yisod the Ima V'Tfuna. If you look into the Siddur, not the way we've done it, it's just 4 lines. You don't know what's part of what. And the way to do it is to divide the page in half. The first half is from Yisod Abba, Yisod Ima. The second half of the page is from Yisod Ima. You then give it to the Malchut de Ima. And then you finish with Pnimi de Pnimi. Now Ima has everything. Yeah, Yisod Malchut de Ima has all the Shefa of the Pnimi de Chitzon. Now we jump over to the Chitzon. And from the Shefa which will not allow, we moshek the Kav Yamin. Kav Yamin with the special of Membet and Mu, right? Membet and Mem. That's all we have to do in the Milat Tata. That's page 180. The Membet of the Kav Yamin with the 42 letters and the Mu goes into Za, right? So now we go to Milat Hashem. Next page 181. Yeah, Milat Hashem is easy. You're carrying on with Shefa. This time the Chitzon is before. Until now, in every word, every cover we've done, Baruch Atah, we did the Pnimi and then the Chitzon. Here in Milat Hashem, we do the Chitzon first. Yeah? I can't say for sure, but one remez is because the Milat Hashem is always the middle one. Za. Right? Shema. Yeah? Za. So there's a kind of Za within Za. It's like the Ruach inside. You've got Nefesh Ruach, right? So it's the remez in the name of Havaya. So you say Hashem, and you carry on with the one which represents Hashem. Can't say for sure, but it's a remez. So that's why we do the Chitzon. But when we get now to the next Kavanah, we will get to Havaya, but only at the end. We have to take it from Ima, right? And it's Al Gabe Resha Deza, and you can see the first Kavanah showing you everything Al Gabe Resha Deza. Can you see? Zivug Primi Chitzon Deza. So first of all, where do we leave off in the end of Milat Tata? In the Machot of Ima. Yeah? Yeah? So while it's still in the Machot of Ima, it's called above the Rosh of Za. So in the Siddur, it's showing us Yechaven Lamshik V'Laotzia Mi Malchut. This was in Malchut, right? You see how it connects to the very one in the Milat Tata. Yeah? Mi Malchut. The Zivug Pnimi, the Chabad, the Chaga, the Ima Utvuna. It's exactly the same Ktovet that we had before when we left the end of the Milat Tata. Yeah? So carrying on from there. If you keep your bearings, it all follows very easily. And what is it that we have? Exactly what was there is exactly over here. It's just showing you that it's Al Gabe Resha Deza. And really all you have to do is you don't have to go and look all those names. If you do Ashrecha, honestly Ashrecha, it's an amazing thing to do. But if you just want to quickly on Rabbasus first minyan, the second minyan, the next minyan, right? Which is better than if you're in, let's say, a place like Hagas or Bavchunas, right? So, or even more if it's in Hendel Adas, forget it, 35 minutes Shachri. So you can now look at this kavanah, which is we don't have before, which is za, and then underneath is nuk. Right? Can you see what we're looking at? Look what we're looking at. We're looking at Shem Ben, written in a very special way. It's a unique way of writing it because it's the Shem Ben of the Yenikah. When za is Beyenikah. We know za is Shema always. Or Yud Kevavke is Tiferet, is za. It's all the same thing. It's Getavav of Yud Kevavke. It's Yud Kevavke, that's the name of it. The Shema Etzim is Shema Tiferet Malchut. If you read Sefer Sharei Orah, the whole Sefer is based on one zivug, one yichud. Havaya Adanut. Right? Kuchab Rechush Chinte. Everything is Malchut, Tiferet Malchut. Tiferet Malchut, everything, the whole world, Kishem Hashem Ekraki, Avodor, Godel Eloim, is all one zivug. Havaya Adanut. Okay? So Zaz always should be Shema. And here it's Shem Ben. Right? So the Mefarshim explained to us when you're dealing with Shefa Chitzon, you're only in the stage of Yenikah. The child hasn't yet reached Gadlut. So Zaz hasn't reached what he should be. So he didn't become Shema yet. So the Shem that he represents is Havaya. And if you write this of Ben, and if you write the Shem of Ben, like it's written over here, the Gematria is Ralav is Gematria Baruch. Right? We're now Baruch Milat Hashem, and not in Milat Baruch, right? Nevertheless, it's showing you that it's coming from the stage of Baruch. Yeah? So this kavanah of this very strange looking Shem of Hashem with all the vavs in it, and all the hays which are made up of vavs, is telling you that the Shefa now came from the Malchut of Imah, which was above Reisha Dizan, is now gone to Zah. Right? And now Zah has to give it to Nuk. So in the last bit at the bottom of page 182, Gam yechaven lekasher lechaber nukba dizah nikra adanut. So where's the kavanah of Havaya to Zah giving it to Nuk? You know what it is? The shiluv. You see Havaya Yud Kevavke, and then the Hey we always write adanut, like in all the Siddur Mansurs, right? And the guns that came from them. And then you have shiluv. It says in the Zohar, whenever you say Hashem Hashem, you must have adanut. If you look at Rav Futterman's Siddur, which we have, right? There'll be one. He didn't put the shiluv here, put it in the beginning of Havaya. If you look at Rav Shmueli's and you look at Rav Tia, we'll follow the Sadeh, right? It's at the end. Because this time the shiluv is not just telling you should always do a shiluv, it's telling you this is the zivug of Zan B'nuk. It's more than the regular one. No, we do it as a bereva is that you must always make a kuchabra chush chinteh. You have to always keep them together. Don't ever separate them. The Chidah says terrible things if a person doesn't do this, like chayav mitah or something, right? So that's why they took it very seriously in the Livona Siddur. They started putting it in first in the beginning of Shemona Esrei. It says whenever you say Hashem's name, you're already halfway through davening, and it tells you whenever you say Hashem's name, remember to say Avadonu. They put it before Hashem Tzafat Yiftach in the old Livona Siddurim. Right, and then Mansur came, but first it was Bakal, then there was Mansur, Lugasi, all these names of Yerushalmi names of the Sfaradim, and they made all these Siddurim, Chukat Olam, right? They were different names of Messiah, from Messiah made a Siddur, and they decided to start putting it on every single name every time you say Hashem's name, right? And it says Siddur Shalem, Shalem. There's the Kitzur of the Shalem. Yeah, so here is the most important place of any part of Tefillah that you need to do the Shiluv Havaya Adanot. Because this is actually Zah and Nuk connecting. So in other words, in the Shefa Chitzor, we took it from Malchut Akudim, we brought it down to Atik, and then Arich, and to Abba B'Yashas, and Imba V'Tuna, then they made the Zivug, then the depot went down to the Yisodot, then they made another Zivug, right? And then already that was Pnimi, then there's a Chitzon. And now in the Shefa Pnimi, the Chitzon, this is the end of it. Zah gives it to Nuk. That's it. Game over. Right? In the Shefa Chitzon, the Chitzon, there's still one Bechina missing, which was the Kaf small of the Membet Otiot with the Nuyas Lat. So in Elokeinu, which is Kaf small because it's Dinim, right? Elohim is Dinim. So it fits beautifully. You do the Kaf small, and that's it. That's all. You don't need to do anything else in Elokeinu. There's no Shefa Kippim already finished in Milat Hashem. Shefa Chitzon, you need Elokeinu. And then we get to Melech HaOlam. You can actually see yourself doing it now properly, like the whole thing from the beginning to the end. It's amazing. 184. All these kavanot, they seem impossible when you start them. Even now, I was in Israel, the Rav Tia, He's doing a kavanah and he's starting off. Everyone's arguing with him and arguing with him and arguing. He says, "Mikom elamdai hiskalti." I come to this shiur with the idea. I've been learning this for 40 years, and I could see something new that is completely turns it upside down. And I want to see if you'll agree. He said, but if you won't let me even tell you what I'm saying, because they will argue with him and argue. And then at the end of 1, 2, third shiur, they all agree. Everyone agrees. So it's unbelievable. Wow, everything up to, and I've seen it like for the last 20 years. Every time is a new sugya. So he's on the new sugya now. He's on a mission to prove something which is no one's seen, right? And it's amazing to see because you start off, everything's blocked. And you sit on it and sit on it and sit on it. Suddenly it opens up, suddenly it all comes together. You say, Hashem, I've connected something. So now, Melech HaOlam, we finished with Shefa Chitzon.
Why are we doing the left?
Because that's the order. Are you saying why is it not? You mean small emsa? Simply because of the names. Because Hashem look, that's the Matbeah Bracha. Yeah. If there's a deeper reason, I haven't found it yet. But that's what I was told, Rabotai. Yeah. It's strange because I'm not going to say that, but I mentioned in earlier shurim that when you do it in the Shefa Nolad, I stood next to Ravatia when we were doing the Bracha on the Megillah because it was a somech, and he was going with his finger. And he went Yamin, small, Emsa. So when you do Milat Baruch, he does go like that, right? Meaning Atah, when you Molad Shefa Kitzon, he does go like that. But when you then carry on with the order of the Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu, it's Yamin, Emsa, small, not Yamin, small, Emsa. But normally you do Chacham Bagadati, so you do Yamin, small, Emsa. But when you do it in the words of the bracha, Atah Hashem Elokeinu, it's not Yamin, small, Emsa. Yamin, Emsa, small. Yeah? It could be others do it differently, but that's the way I do it. Okay? So now, in Melech HaOlam, we now have the Shefa Chitzon. We have it in the world, right? Everyone got Koch, so we also got Koch. Once you give it to Zav and Nuk, we get it then as well. Now we have to take all that Shefa Chitzon that we have, and we have to take our Neshama and send it up to Absag the Ak. In order to be able to do that, a person needs to have Zechut. So he needs to do Tshuva, and he's got to make Makabela, that's Mo'aba Mitot Beidin. Right? One of the most important things, and Shlach Kadosh talks about it. If you see what it says great things about when a person does it, and he's ready to give up his life, Abba Mitot Beidin, he in effect, all his sins are forgiven, and therefore he has the koach to be ma'aleg nitzotzot. Then be ma'aleg the rafach, which we haven't learned in depth, but bekitzur, you see these numbers, 72 on the top, then 72, and then it's actually 71, 73. They don't know allowed to 72. The first on the bottom are 72, 72. Yud Ke Yaakov Havaya. You start from the bottom, 72. Havaya Sag is telling you 26 plus 41, 45, which is 71. And then Sag plus 10 letters is 73 and 72. 72, 73, 71, 72, or 288. Now you know what Rav Nachman's talking about. Rafach, right? It's on top. And it's says Akadosha, right? These numbers of 288 are locations. They're not, doesn't mean there's actually 288 sparks. It means the sparks of this mitzvah, which have to go back to places in Shemayim where they fell from, which are called by the number of 288. Because the names where they fell from, those location names, in the Olamot, add up to 288. Understand? There isn't 288 sparks. David, you hear that? If you speak to a Breslova, you ask him how many sparks are there? No, there aren't. There's thousands and millions all over. Right? The 288 is the name of the place that represents the location where they fell from.
Okay.
There was 10 Sfirot in the Chesed. There was 10 Sfirot in the Gvura. There's 10 Sfirot in the Tiferet, and then the Netzachot Yisod and Malchut Sheva Melachim. And these Sheva Melachim all have 10 Sfirot. And in each one of the 10 Sfirot, but each of the Melachim, each one is one Melech, right? It's got 10 Sfirot. In them, it fell from a different place. In some places, it fell out of 10, it fell from 6 places, fell down. Some 9 fell down. It's called Abedu. The Malchut was 10. But 9 of them fell down from Aleph. That's Aleph Abedu. Then from the one next to it was a tiferet. The knife is batel. This is the do abedu. So 6 fell down and 4 remained. Then in the next one was the bina. So it's bet. I've mixed up the letters. But basically, abedu is the place of how many it fell from. When they fell from those places, meaning whether it's the second level or the third level, depending which where they fell down, right? Where they fell down from, there's a name of Hashem that represents that place. And these are the names that you're looking at. So the highest place in Ab is where you're dealing with the Chesed. If you look, it says Malchut the Chesed. That means the Melech of Chesed. Right? That is U. Can you see Avidu? So 4 places remained and 6 fell down. And the name of that level 4, Madriga, tells you Madriga Shvi. One day we'll do it, Bezrat Hashem. It's all written over here, but what it means is the whole avodah to explain. We're not doing it today. It's too much to do in one day, right? We're going to finish in a few minutes. Bezrat Hashem. But you see, it says over there, Madriga Shvi, Madriga Hevezain. That's what these 2 names mean. It means from the place where they fell down in Shemayim and they went into the Klipot. They have names for those places. And those names are these names over here. Whether it's the Gematria or it's the Otiot. Also makes a difference. And so when you take these names and add them all together, you get 288. And that's why we call it Rafach Netzot, because they fell from a place which adds up to all the places which they fell from adds up to 288 in Hashem's names. So the Gematria of the names, the locations. So there isn't 288 sparks. It's a mistake, right? The 288 lost sparks, Raiders of the Lost Ark, lost sparks, it's like, it's a myth, right? But now we understand what it means. It's very easy when you understand that, even if you don't understand the depth of it and how to work out why these names are these names, which is a few sessions of learning. Nevertheless, whenever we do the Rafach, we know what we have to do. We have to do Abba Mitov Beidin, and then to Ma'aleh the Rafach from the Klipot back to these places, which is called Avidu 1, 2, 3, and 4, it says in the chart. To take them back up there. Right? And then when they're back up there, they rejoin those parts of them which they used to be united before, they reunite with them. It's a big Simcha and Shemaim when you do this. You're reuniting, it's taking the Shekhinah out of Galut. Taking all this, the Nitzotzot, HaKadosha, back to where they fell from Mikra Melachim. It's incredible avodah to do this. It's like this, unbelievable thing to do. This is proper Geulah. Right? We're taking the Shekhinah out of the Galut. So we reunite them up there, but that's not the now. When you reunite them, all you're reuniting them with is what came out originally, which was only, we said, the Malchut of Ben. It's only 1/10 of Ben and another 10 parts of Ma, which have to now come out into the world. All right, so when we send this back up, we're just dealing with 1/20th of what we need, right? And of that 1/20th, that 10 bits of the 10 of the 1 of the 10 of the Ben, some of that fell down, and we have to send that back up and reunite the bits which remained in Atzilut and join them together. Then we'll send that up, and there'll be a zivug, absak de'ak, and then 20 parts will come out. Right? So that's what we're doing now when we get to the next page. What's the next page? 185. So 185, we're showing you how all the Shefa Chitzon the Chitzon, and Primi the Chitzon, which is underneath, above is Primi Chitzon, Primi Chitzon. You see it? All of that we're sending up together with what was on the previous page, which was the Rafach of the Gadlut. Understand? Which we call Shefa Primi. So we're sending 3 lots of Avodah, right? The Chitzon, the Primi, the Chitzon, and all of the Primi, Shefa Primi as well, the Gadlut. Yeah. And then it tells you how they reunite up there, and you actually see it going up now. Before it was Mevara, and now we actually send it up, which is all the Avadu explaining in more depth, which I was talking about. It's not 186. Yeah? You can flick through this quickly because it's nice reading. If you can't fall asleep at night, read this. Yeah? They crash my return and read this. No problem. Have a good night's sleep. Be on time for that. Okay? So all the next page explaining how all this works, yeah, and then Abotai, 188, yeah, 188. we send it all up to the room of Ma'alot. So what does it say? Aliyat Zivug Absak Deak. I don't know why it says Absak Leak. It should be Absak Deak. So we'll have to check, we'll have to fix it. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about what it says after that. The Rishut and Din, that we've explained it, but it's not for now. And there's a Zivug Absak Deak. See it? Akiavaya. So Ab de Ab is the Metzach, right? Right? Sag de Ab de Sag is the Einayim of Olam Ha'ak. And over there, that's Ruma Ma'alot, there's a Zivug. And it brings out all the Shef that we send up, creates this hit Orurut for Zivug, and then the Mizaveg and 20 parts come out. And then that's called Chalukata Shefa. So first of all, what do? You should look at the chart on page 188. Can you see the yellow section? It's showing you how the Pnimi is coming down now. But until now we had Shefa Chitzon and Pnimi the Chitzon, that was called Chagat. Now everything is Chabad. We would read all the Horaot, which I've skimmed through today. I haven't read them inside. You see what we were calling before Chagat de Chagat and Chabad de Chagat. Now it's all called Chabad. Chabad means Pnimi, means Gadlut. So you see on this page over here, a yellow piece highlighted, and they're showing you that the Salmei Mochin coming in is in the Gadlut, which is the Chabad. And that's what we're calling the Pnimi. It's all the same thing. So what do we do now? We bring the Shefa down from Ruma Ma'alot. First of all, we give it to Atik. And then takes the Meitav and whatever remains, right? Ziborit, whatever, you give it now to Arich. Arich makes a Zivug, keeps the best for himself, and then gives it to Abavim Ha'Ilaim. And then Yasut, Yesodu Malchut, at the bottom of page 189, can you see? And that's it. On the last 2 pages, we didn't begin with the shiur. Then you bring back all the Shefa Chitzon, and the Shefa Pnimi, 191, you see how the Chalukah the Shefa takes place. You have to allocate it now.
It's not happening at the same time. You have to do it separately.
What does that mean? Shefa Chitzon, you're returning it. You don't have to, you're not doing much work to bring it back. It's already there. We haven't been moshech into the, really, these should be going into Kelim, like we do in the other parts of the Shemona Esrei. But for some reason, there's explained why in Matbeah Bracha there's no Kelim. But really, they're going into Kelim. Right? Now, those ones of Shefa Chitzon, they were already in the Kelim, and we took them out, send them out, and we bring them back to where they came from. We're not really, when somebody comes home, they're not moving into the house for the first time. They've been there before. You're just bringing them back. Right? But the Shefa, is coming to the world for the first time. You have to make the binyan of all the parts of him in Atzilut. This is what we're doing over here. From the Absak the Ark, we're being boneh parts of him. Right? Again, so from page 188, right? Zivugatik, you give it Tarikh. This is Binyan Patzufim. It's called Chalukat HaShefa. It means you're building up Patzufim, Batzilut, that have never been built before. Because it's the first time this Mechadesh B'Tuvo B'Chol Yom Tamid. It's the first time this Absak, the Ak, the Metzach and the Einayim of Ak have brought new Shefa into the world. That from the time of the Maseh of this particular Mishpacha of Mochin, there was only the Malchut of Ben. Now we've got 10 Sfirot of Ben, 10 Sfirot of Mam. We have to, through them, allocate how they build up the Binyan Partzufim. So Atik, Venuk, make a Zivug, and they be Moli, then Arich Menuk. And then Arich Menuk have a Zivug, and they make Abavima, Ilain. And Abavina, then they create Yasut. And then Yasut will create Zanuk, and then we've done the Tikkun.
So wasn't it there before the Sfirot?
Who?
This Shefa?
No. It never came in. The only thing that was created in Maaseh Bereshit was Ben, the Malchut of Ben. All this world, that's all the Shrei Kirim, is only the Malchut of Ben. And every time we do a tikkun, we're fixing the world for the first time to the level that Adam Rishon wasn't fixed before. It was fixed before him, but then he took it and put it all back down, destroyed it all. Okay. So let's just finish up. So we go back to 190 and we see the Shefa Chitzon, the Chitzon and Pnimi the Chitzon, then Chitzon, the Chitzon coming back down, meaning the Pnimi the Yenika and the Chitzon the Yenika. And then on page 191, right, we've got Mochin of Abba and Ima
going into Yasut together, and there's a set I've written in the top of the page, this yellow box, how the pastures and how the Batil are going to explain what is inside what. But the bottom line, it's all coming down in one go, right? And we have to give it to Za'anuk. So right at the bottom of the page, and we'll end with this, it says the Kachbad, which is the Gadlut. Kachbad is Chabad, right? Yeah, it says Kachbad. Yeah, because it's a Keter as well. The Abiyah, that means here we're talking about tefillah. So we go back to the tabla of the Alei Nahar. I mean, in the Pnimiut Olamot, if you remember, we learned tefillah. That's why it's talking about that. So when you make a bracha on an apple, you won't have this kavanah exactly. It will say, but it will mean something in Atzilut. Deza, the Atzilut. Yeah, and also you have to do the bia means the low olamot, the bia tachtonim. They also get shefa from this. And you're building up all the olamot. I give you an hour share explaining you all the numbers in that tabla of Nalei Nahar, how it goes from one olam, then it gives the rest, and the next one it goes. There's a whole order. It's about 22 different stages of how it works, and all that's going on. It's called the sag olamot, right? Samach Daled Olamot, 64 Olamot, how it works. So we're just reading one line, but there's so much more happening. But what, for our intents purposes, is we do the Matbeah Bracha. This is where everything is done. The tikkun takes place to Za'anuk. We've been the parts of him all built up. Every time you make a bracha, that's what you have to do.
What happens at the end of this bracha?
You have a party. You feel happiness. So then you do it again, the whole thing from the beginning.
At the end of this bracha.
What do you mean, other bracha?
So we start to
Finish the bracha then. At this stage already, because the master this, what we're saying is that all this hamshachad, which is on page 199, 191, actually happens when you say what all the praises of Hashem. That's Birkat HaShevach. So that's the Maaseh Pe'ulah of the bracha. So that's why you have to mechaven that it's going to happen when you say those words. You can't say the words and then do the tzaddik of the tzelem. You understand? If you're making a bracha on ha'et, right? Right now you do the first two lines, the lamed and the mem and the lamed, and the tzaddik you do in the words boreh peri ha'etz, right? When you say boreh peri ha'etz,
I got that. I meant that at the end of this was all at the beginning of Beracha,
right?
and now at the end of Beracha, you've got bracha.
Yeah.
What happens in the Beracha with that?
That is this. The Baruch Shema is nothing. There's no Matbeah Bracha for that. Baruch Shema is not the Matbeah Bracha. It's only we say Baruch Atah Hashem Melech Haolam, right?
Right. Okay. So all that is going to.
Ha'el Abrachaman, that's the bracha, right? Yeah. Same thing in Yishtabach. Same thing in Yotzer Baruch Choshech. Yeah, because Yotzer Baruch Choshech is Birkat HaShefach, we're praising all the Olamot, the Malachim. Hashem created them, Kochavim, etc. Yeah. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen ve'amen. I really want to give you all Bezrat Hashem